guest is Andrea Stultz. She's a mother and early childhood trained teacher. She's a licensed real estate salesman and realtor. And she's an ordained and licensed minister of religion. She was born and raised in Mandeville, Manchester, where she completed her education at the Michael Teachers College, later transferring and completing her early childhood education course at the Shortwood Teachers College. Miss Andrea Stultz was trained in aircraft emergency and first aid. She spent 9 wonderful years with the then Air Jamaica Holding, during which she was promoted to head flight attendant or purser. Working with the passengers and crew from destination to destination was one of the most fulfilling times in her life. While flying around the world, she opened, owned, and operated her own preschool and nursery, formerly known as Busy Bees Preschool and Nursery. Mrs. Stultz believes in high-level customer service and offers customer service training for many institutions. Let's welcome Andrea Stultz to Pathways to Success.
With us. I'd also like to apologize to our viewers for our late start this evening. But Andrea, welcome to Pathway to Success and your amazing journey that you'll be sharing with our viewers today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Dr. Hunter. It is an honor and a privilege to be on this program with you, and I thank you for having me.
And thank you for taking time out also to be on this program to share your story with us. Can you tell us about your journey from pursuing a teacher's education course at Michael College to becoming a trained teacher and early childhood specialist?
Okay. Where do I begin? Well, you want me to start from how I left home and ended up at Michael?
Right. Yes.
All right.
Tell it all. So tell it all, show.
So from I was a little child, I had a passion for babies. I remember going to church every Sunday, and if there were 10 babies in church, know that before we left, I would hold all 10 babies. And then my adopted mother at the time was a public health nurse, and I used to go to the clinic with her. And she used to put those babies in my lap, and she said, "Now don't drop them. Remember, you don't pick them up off the supermarket shelf." So my passion started there, and I knew I wanted to pursue a career that involved children. I first wanted to be a pediatric doctor, but I have no use for mathematics or anything that has numbers. And that didn't work out. And so my best bet was teaching, and I wanted to work with the babies. On the flip side, my parents were so strict and so overprotective that I needed to go to somewhere not close by. So I didn't choose Church Teachers College, but I chose Michael. And upon entering Michael in 1987, I had to do a preliminary course first. And I did that for 1 year. But when I got to Michael, unfortunately, they did not offer an early childhood program. But I did the prelim, and then they were trying to talk me into doing special education. Well, I believe it must have been divine intervention in one of the most, I would say, terrifying but humorous ways, because I completed 1 year at Michael and packed my bag to return to school on the 12th of September, 1988. And of course, you know, the song that Lovin there sing, Wild Gilbert. So Wild Gilbert came that morning, and that deferred everything. And to cut a long story short, it opened the door and the opportunity for me to get into Shortwood Teachers College, where I began my journey into early childhood education.
Wow.
And that's where it all began.
So that because of a desire, you love kids.
Yes.
That motivated you to leave home at age 17.
Yes.
to pursue your education at Michael Teachers College. How did
Correct.
but you also had a short stint at Shortwood Teachers College.
No,
How
I completed Shortwood. I did all 4 years.
that's good. That's good. And what was it like at Shortwood? Because you have been to Shortwood, then you went to Michael.
No, I went to Michael then Shortwood.
Yes, yes. Um, what could you share some insight into your decision that transition that transition you from teaching at Belvedere Prep School to becoming a flight attendant?
All right. So upon completing Shortwood Teachers College, um, there were schools that wanted me to teach in Kingston, but my parents was not having it. They said back home. So I ended up at Bel Air in Mandeville. I taught at Bel Air for a while, and it's amazing when you're young and how you think and how your parents think are two different things. And as I said, they were very overprotective. And at the age of 23, I mean, when when a child says, parent says, "Can you man the games for my child on Saturday?" And I'm saying, "Okay, big woman, graduate, come back to school, learn to drive. I can drive myself there at 4 o'clock in the evening." My father was having none of it. He said, "You know what? 4 o'clock is night, and I close my gate by 6." So, so I started to say, this is not going to work. And a very good friend of mine, she just called me. It's not like I thought about becoming a flight attendant, but she called and she said she knew what was happening, down to the principal knew that I needed to gain some form of independence.
Right.
So an opening came at Air Jamaica. I went for the interview. I got through immediately, and there started my journey as a flight attendant, of which I discovered that even up to today, even not being able to fly anymore, it is still in my blood, so to speak. I still love it.
What was that like? Have you ever had, because many we have all traveled many times, but I normally like to ask the questions of to flight attendants as well as pilots. Have you ever had any scary moment while flying as a flight attendant?
Thanks be to God, I have never had an incident or an accident. No near misses, never on my flights. We've had maybe a little shaking, a little turbulence, but nothing greater than that. Nothing greater than that. I remember having an experience with turbulence that was so bad that I literally watched a gentleman in first class. I just watched the wine leave his glass and just go straight up in the air and come tumbling back down. And he had to be holding everything. But apart from that, no. And you get used to it because you get trained. Sometimes you get a little worried, especially when you hear about an airline that may have crashed.
Right.
Everybody else is on high alert, because what a lot of persons don't know is that as a flight attendant, our training was very, very intense. We had to sit several examinations. We had to do what you call jump slide, jump out of the aircraft, jump off the boat into the sea. What is called ditching, things that prepared you for emergency. You had to do the practicals for that, and you had to pass those exams. And before every flight, you are briefed by your purser on emergency. Any question can come at you, and you have to be able to answer that question, because if you are not sure, then you are not making that flight that day.
How,
They
how
can't
long
ask you.
how long does it take to be to be trained to be a flight attendant? May I ask that question?
At the time when I did my training, I think my training was 4 weeks. 4 weeks in classroom. four
Right.
weeks in classroom, theory and practical. We became firefighters. We were first aiders, trained to even deliver babies if the needs came
Right.
up.
Hmm.
Um, and as I said, we had to go. It was intense, and then we had examinations, and then no, you were thrown out on the flights on a like a 1 month or 2 months period. where that would be like your real breaking ground, and you'd be supervised.
Uh, so you've gotten a lot of experience traveling, working with people in the air, as well as being a teacher also
Yes.
on the ground. But what inspired you, Andrea, to open your own preschool and nursery um, at the time, while working as a nurse, as a flight attendant?
So, you ever hear about wanting the best of two worlds? I
Yeah.
wanted a little bit of both worlds because my passion, my love, my dream, my everything was in my children, in the babies, and I wanted to have that contact with them and still be able to do that and also still enjoy flying and working on that end. And I decided that I had one before with a business partner and things never worked out. And that broke my heart so much. It broke my heart really, really badly. And I said, no, I'm going to go into this one and I'm doing it alone. And with God's help, I started it, I achieved it, and God blessed me with the most amazing staff that you could ever dream of, from the cook to the ancillary worker, to the aunties, the teachers, the managers. They were awesome.
Wow, that's good. And where were that's your school located at the time in
At
Kingston?
that time was in the Oaklands complex.
Oakland's come.
Oaklands complex, yes, where it was the complex is built and fitted with a building that was suited for a nursery. And so many people applied to get it. And I remember the day when I went up to speak with the manager at the time. She said to me, she said, I had so many other persons that had more things than you that would have put them in place. But she said to me, I am giving you this place because I saw your heart.
Wow, wow,
She said, I saw your heart. And I got the coveted Oakland's nursery. Yeah.
wow. Congratulations. That must have been a great breakthrough for you, for one who loved children so much, you know.
Yes.
But what in pursuing that, and you became owner of such an institution. What led you also? What led you your decision to give your life to the Lord at the end of your tenure with the airline?
Okay. So
Yes.
whilst on a flight one day, I damaged my ear. It was such a mild, what you call a decompression, which is there was a small pressure leak that only because of your training on flight you would know something is off. And I remember heading into New York that night, and I was a purser at the time, and I remember saying to the captain that I said, "Skip, my head doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right." And my ears just wouldn't pop. And he said to me, Andy, I'm feeling a little funny myself, but we've checked everything and everything looks okay. We got to New York, laid over, maintenance checked everything. Everything was okay. Coming back, he said, if you feel the same way, let me know. And I still had the same feelings. I had a few days off after that, and I just constantly had dizzy feelings. My ears just wouldn't pop, wouldn't clear. And I went to the doctor, and after seeing her, I had other complaints that I was telling her about. And she said, listen, the long and short of it, your ear's not popping. You have to take time off. I remember I kept getting extended sick leave because this was so bad. The ears just wouldn't pop, it wouldn't pop. And it seemed as if the decompression messed up my ear because they discovered that was what was happening afterwards. Uh During all of that, however, it was found out that my ear wasn't healing because this is going over a period of 3 months and I still have time off. I got fed up. I told my supervisor I'm going to resign. She said, over her dead body, you're not going anywhere.
People love to say that in Jamaica, right?
said, "You're not going anywhere." And so she said, "You get better." Then the doctor decided he was going to put a tube in my ear, and I said, "No, I didn't want that." And but in the midst of it, we found out now that the ear was not healing because I had thyroid disease.
Fibroid.
Thyroid,
Thyroid. Okay.
thyroid disease,
Right.
which I was hypothyroid, and by which time now it explained that it's an autoimmunity disease which slows down the healing process of things in your body.
Right.
And so it was during that period I called it a day. I had someone at my nursery, an auntie working, and a friend whose household helper lived with her, and she had a heart issue. At the time, I was with GWIF, Andrew Scott's ministry. No, I wasn't there yet. She had the heart issue, and I was telling somebody that we needed to raise funds, and they invited me to church. I went to the church, and that was where I met Prophet Andrew Scott. And they said, bring her to service the next day. Because he called me out. I had her paper in my bag, and he just called out that someone had a paper about somebody who has heart issue, and she needed healing, she needed funds to do this surgery. So in obedience, I went to his church the following. He called her out, she received her healing, and I started going, and I took my entire staff with me to church. That
Yes.
that I don't remember which day of the week it was, but I know it was April 6th. And I took my entire staff to church with me. And I remember him calling about autoimmune diseases and stuff. And I went up. He laid hands on me. I passed out. I received my immediate healing. I've not taken a tablet since that. And that night I gave my life to the Lord.
Wow. What a
And
great,
what
what
yes.
a great miracle, and what a great testimony. We're going to take a short break. Pathway to Success with Andrea, and we'll be right back.
Did you pick out this detergent all by yourself? So cute.
It's half the size and it's half the plastic. And there's nothing cute about unnecessary plastic. Christy, the average person generates over 200 pounds of plastic a year. And there are 329 million of us in the US alone.
Do you want paper or paper? Yeah.
7th generation Easy Dose laundry detergent. Half the size, half the plastic, all the clean.
So where were we?
The playoff.
Oh, yes. Only a handful of teams remained, hailing from kingdoms far and wide across the college football land, all vying for a spot in the playoffs. Each team led by a great coach, fearless players, and defended by the loyalist of fans. Soon, they would take part in an epic playoff battle for the right to call themselves national champions. And to the victor go the spoils, a beautiful trophy, a grand celebration, and bragging rights that stand the test of time.
And then what happened?
We'll find out soon.
Chewy.
This ship is now under the command of the First Order.
Live your Star Wars story in a new 2-night adventure.
You know what I've come for.
Only at Walt Disney World Resort.
One. Yes. Welcome back to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, and I'm with Andrea Stultz-Rhone. And what an amazing journey, what an amazing story, a success story, balancing being a teacher while being a flight attendant / owning also a nursery. It's amazing. She must have made a lot of millions of dollars. I'm sure viewers watching may be saying to themselves that after the show, they're going to try to get her number to see if they can get some money from her. But that's all of that. But where we last left off was you went to Prophet Andrew Scott Church, GWIF, and you got healing.
Yes.
So what I wanted to know, what because of your healing, was that that inspired you to become an ordained licensed minister of religion and to pursue motivational speaking?
So how I became a minister was amazing. It's not something that I thought of. I just wanted to just give my life to the Lord and just be a good Christian. And then the Lord started speaking with Prophet Andrew, and to not go into too much details, we met, we talked, he shared what the Lord showed him. I met with he and Minister Dorothy, and I now became a part of their core team, and the journey started there. So it's like I was thrown and jumped. The Lord just threw me right in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a part of the praise and worship team. I worked, I served, yes. And
Are
then
you still there?
no, after a couple of years, nothing gone wrong, nothing bad. The Lord
Right.
said it was time to move on, and I was now with Bishop Doris Hutchinson as her armor bearer and minister, and that is an Apostle Steve Liston who passed December last, and that's where I was ordained as a minister.
It's great. How do you incorporate your beliefs in giving words of comfort and encouragement into your role as a motivational speaker?
Okay. So basically, I do motivational speaking whenever I travel overseas. For example, up to this morning, I was hands laid on suddenly, and I had to bring the word at my mom's church. And so I use my life experiences. I use things in my life. I use experiences of others that I know of to let them understand that it doesn't matter what you are going through. We serve a God who is more than able to do the exceedingly abundantly above more than they can ask, think, or imagine. There's nothing that he cannot do. And when I can say to them that, listen, when I got healed from my thyroid disease, my doctor told me that I was just at the stage of going into something called mixed edema coma and should be taking 3 small white tablets every day for the rest of my life.
Um,
And I was gaining 5 pounds a week
really?
with that. And there was depression, so many things that come with thyroid disease, And so I use things like that to motivate. I speak with the young people also about their lives. If they come to me with problems, and I must add this too, is that one of the most important things is confidentiality. People have to be able to trust you to know that when they speak to you, you are confidentially. You're not going to hear it in a message. You're not going to hear it from a friend. It stays right there unless you say share it. you know. So I use my life experiences. I use um even working with my parents, the children and their parents. I use even in real estate now. I use my experiences out there. I literally minister and talk to my parents, to my clients, to let them understand that whatever they're doing, just remember that once they put God in the center of it, let him lead, let him guide, let him direct. Let I try to let them understand that what they're doing is not them alone. They're not in it alone. But if they trust God, when the disappointments come with the transaction, maybe this was not what God had for them. And I try to walk them through.
Oh, that's powerful. You are also a licensed real estate. You're a realtor
Yes, I am.
with Keller Williams. What are some
Keller
of the
Williams, Jamaica.
Keller what?
Keller
Keller,
Williams, Jamaica.
right.
Yes.
What are some of the key principles you adhere to in your job?
Integrity is one of the most important things for me. Integrity. And it is a part of our KW core values, where integrity, we do the right thing. For our customers, they must always come first, and we must have commitment to them in all things. Communication is of the utmost important. We have to seek first to ensure that our customers understand exactly what they're getting into, what they're doing, the processes, everything that leads up for them having a smooth transaction and a smooth closure. Creativity, we have to give them ideas. And in giving ideas, you're not saying do it my way, but sometimes you need to help them to see outside of the box. Sometimes you need to give them ideas as to how I can't buy a $25 million house. I can only get 10 millions. But this is how I can get my $10 million house, and I can turn it into a $20 million house. So,
Very
yes. So, from that perspective, yes, I try to motivate my clients and I try to be me. I don't put on I don't put on plaster over anything. I am clear, I'm honest with my clients and open.
That's good. Tell us some of the best experiences that you have had in real estate in Jamaica so far.
So there is a for me, one of the best experiences I've had so far is I've had a sale that was going on for literally 4 years. I remember I
I say
remember
for
a
what?
sale,
Get
a
that.
sale of a property in Mandeville.
Right.
And I remember coming into real estate. I started real estate in 2014 and I started with Remax Realty Group. And I remember, you're just starting and everybody has all of these nice, pretty properties. But the one that I got was a roofless property, no windows, no doors, no fittings. And I said, my God, this is embarrassing. How am I going to put this up on the MLS? How am I going to put this on, have it displayed on the internet? This is embarrassing. But it was quite fulfilling in the sense that I changed companies and carried that listing with me to Keller Williams, and it was like maybe just about a year and a half ago that that sale closed. But what was
A year and a half. A year and a half ago.
it closed, but I've had the listing from 2018.
Congratulations, finally. You have done it.
It was a huge challenge. It was a huge challenge. And the more it stayed is the more it depreciated. But then we found someone who loved it.
Yes.
And and for me, that's a great experience because I'm here to tell customers that don't think that because your property looks a certain way to you, it means that a realtor won't take it. And a realtor won't fight with you to the end to make sure that you get it sold and sold to the right person. And I believe the right person came along and we God just set it up. Right purchaser, right lawyer.
Wow.
And
Wow.
we brought it to a close. And my client, he lives overseas. He's an older person. So, there are a lot of things he didn't understand, not living in Jamaica for a long time. And I had the awesome pleasure of, just walking him through, talking him through, encouraging him that we'll get through it.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that was amazing and one of my best experiences in real estate.
Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. You persevered. You persevered until you got the job done.
Yes.
You are truly a great realtor, and you have excelled in every area that you've really graced in. What kind of properties do you market in Jamaica? And what is the property? What is the property market like in Jamaica right now? If I'm looking for a home in Jamaica, say for instance in the Grill or Ocho Rios, how much money will I need to purchase such a property?
Ooh, okay. All right. So first of all, as you may have heard, real estate is booming in Jamaica.
Yes.
It's booming and interest rates are not so bad right now. They vary, but they're not so bad. If you're looking to purchase, let's say in Ocho Rios, Ocho Rios, Negril, they are tourist areas, so your prices are going to be much higher. It all depends on the kind of property that you're looking for to and the areas in Ocho Rios. But let's say you're looking for property in the high traffic, high tourist areas, then your budget, you need to be looking at least 40, 50, $60 million in terms of you're looking at a lot of gated communities, apartment communities being built, apartments being built, etc. So
Hold on, can I ask you a question? 40, 60 million. How many rooms are we talking about in bathrooms? What are we talking?
dependent on the amenities that you have on the apartment complexes, you might be looking at one bedroom, two bedrooms.
Oh, come
Yes.
on, Andrea, man. One bedroom for $60 million to $40 million?
You have some apartment complexes that have penthouses that go for 60, 65, 68, 69. They might have three bedrooms in it, two bathrooms, some two bedrooms. And I said it depends on where it is and what the amenities that come with the complex too. You have 24-hour security, you have pool, you have rooftop terraces, you have gymnasiums. It comes with added amenities. But the prices are up there on the apartment complexes right now. Yes.
And when you advertise, is it in US currencies or in Jamaican? Because I'm sure the 60-40 million you're talking about must be Jamaican currency.
Yes, 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 yes. Jamaican.
Right.
Jamaican, definitely.
Mhm.
Jamaican, you
Mhm.
know. But yeah. But what is the most amazing thing?
Yeah.
The persons who are purchasing are young people.
Oh, I know, I see. Very
Young
nice.
people are purchasing because even in Kingston, um, it's the younger generation that are actually purchasing these properties. And sometimes you say, "Ooh, how do they do it?"
What kind of job that they do? That's the
They've been
next
qualified.
what kind of job they do? I guess we won't talk
What I
because
find with our young people, though, a lot of them they don't think like how we thought when we were younger.
right, right.
They are driven, and you find that a lot of them engage in a lot of investments.
Hmm.
And they live off their investments.
Which is good.
So yeah, their thought process as entrepreneurs are a little different than when we were young, much younger. Yes.
I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Um, how do you manage your various roles and responsibilities from teaching, motivational speaking to real estate? to being a wife while ensuring high performance in each area?
Wow. It takes a whole lot to strike the balance. It takes a whole lot to strike the balance. The good thing is right now I don't do a lot of motivational speaking right now, but it's more focused on real estate and being a wife, and I'm also a travel advisor, you know. And sometimes it gets a bit overwhelming, and I have to put things in perspective and say, today for this, tomorrow for that. Right now, one of the things I'm grateful for, and I know it's going to help me a whole lot, is that my pastor at my church, Go for God Family Church, Pastor Christopher Morgan, he is now doing a series on claiming and climbing your mountain. And we had an amazing seminar the other day where he gave us a quiz to do, where to write down your passion, whatever mountain you're in that you want to climb and claim. We did a test, and when we added up the figures, we had three things. And let's say you had government, religion, entertainment. You do your scores, and the one that comes out on top would be the one that God really wants you to climb and claim that mountain. And when I when I did it, I literally saw the mountain that I'm supposed to be climbing and claiming.
I don't know which mountain was is that? I mean, that should be interesting to hear.
And so I had three things on mine, and I'll be really frank. I had my travel, I had my real estate, and I had religion.
Um,
Religion came out on top, and then real estate was second, and travel was like at the very, very minimum. And so that is going to be a deciding factor right now for me as to how I really strike the balance. How I really strike the balance.
it's good that you love God. That's great to have religion on top, and I celebrate and salute you on that. While there are so many pastors that are resigning, so you to come in and fill in the gap for those who are resigning and doing something else. But that is so it comes so commendable. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, Andrea?
Well, I know people always ask that question, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? For me, I think I want to stay unstable. I really want to be a high achiever in my real estate career. I want to be settled, flowing, and comfortable. But most of all, for me, in the next 5 years, I see myself, I want to be in a space and a place doing God's work unconditionally. But for now, as I say, you know, when God wants you to do something, sometimes we are running like the thief in the night.
Right.
And I know I run. I know I run, but I know there's going to come a point that I have to stop running and just do exactly what he wants.
Well, who knows? Maybe you'll take over. Is it Bishop Doris? What's you mentioned your bishop was Bishop Doris.
I used to be with her, but my pastor at Go for God Family is Pastor Christopher Morgan.
Oh, you have switched pastors again on the show.
No, 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 not in front.
That's almost the third. I thought that was always the third pass. Andrea switch. Oh my God.
Guess what? You know what is
Yes.
amazing about that?
Yes.
We have a fantastic and a fabulous relationship. I
Yeah.
was even able to pick up my phone this morning and call my mommy Bishop,
Yes.
and we laughed and talked, and I still stand by her. I still help her with stuff because when the time had come, she knew the time was come, and she released me with her blessings.
Amen. That's very powerful. That
Yes.
that is showing that God has really favored you, and I want to thank you for taking time out to share your amazing story of success. How God has tremendously blessed you, and I still can't get out that $60 million, $40 million property, 1 bedroom, 3 bedroom in Jamaica. What I'm hearing about, I'm still trying to figure that one out. But
Yes,
you said the market is booming, so
it's
whenever
booming. Yes.
I do decide to purchase a property there, I definitely give you a call. And how can anyone contact you if they want to buy a property? Anyone that's living overseas that want to purchase a property.
Well, they can find me on Instagram at Andrea underscore Stultz underscore Rhone. My realtor Andy. They can call me at 876-366-5023. I'm available on WhatsApp. I have a Facebook page also for my real estate, and they can email me at Andrea Stultz at kellerwilliamsjamaica.com.
Thank you so much. And in closing, I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. And I want to say to all the mothers that you're a gift to humanity. Without mother, where would I be? Where would Andrea be? Today, we celebrate all women, all mothers across the world. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, and thank you for having me, sir. It was an honor and a pleasure.
Great interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.